Brushes are a little stuck, which is probably why it didn't run. Yeah, look at that. The brush sticks right in there. Thanks for coming down and hanging out in the basement with me today. What we've got is a continuation from an earlier video. In the earlier video, I purchased these chassis for parts in the hopes that I would find a body shell. Well, I was able to get this number 610 body shell from Elliott Auctions, and if you consider it came with 3 other items, the cost on this thing was about $10, so that's a pretty good deal. The goal is to pick parts from each of these chassis and make a good running unit. First off, let's evaluate what we've got going on here. This is the body shell that I won on that auction. It's dirty. It's got a little bit of a crack up here, which I don't care about, but otherwise it looks good. It's not necessarily my favorite, paint scheme on these. It's rather plain, but then again, so is the MKT 600. From 1955, same year as the MKT back here, but that'll clean up nice. Second, let's evaluate the chassis. Now, this body shell would have originally went with possibly even this exact same type of chassis. It would have had no side skirt on here, wouldn't have had a horn, just would have had the motor in the back. This is one of the other donor chassis. The steps look pretty good, and the paint is okay. Actually, the paint's pretty good on this one. Not great, but, pretty good. Battery holder is nice, a little bit of corrosion, but nothing serious. Unfortunately, this motor has seen better days. The armature is burned out, and, well, I had it in there upside down, but if you can see way in there, the gear is stripped out. And the magnet wire here is damaged around the motor, so this guy's pretty much parts case as far as the motor goes. Then we look at this guy. The motor here looks pretty good. Underneath, the rollers look pretty good. It's not too bad. However, we got a lot of corrosion here, so that's not really great, and we're missing the insulating materials that this other unit has right by the battery. Let's pop everything apart and clean it up and see how it looks when we're done. Body shell cleaned up pretty darn good. I used some Novus 2 on the roof here. That looks really nice. I also used a little bit on the side. Didn't really make it shiny, but it made it more even, which turned out really good. I'm very happy with how this shell looks. Screws are removed. Let's take a first look together and see if we have 2 usable motors here. Whoops, just lost a brush. Okay, that looks alright. Commutator looks good. Got a really fat washer on it. I don't think that's good. Pretty sure the original one's going to be quite smaller. A little bit of rust here. As we look inside, looks nice. Gears turn a little stiff, but that gear right there, looking really good. Perfect. Let's take a look at number 2. Okay, we got our little washer right there, which is good. Brushes are a little stuck, which is probably why it didn't run. Yeah, look at that. The brush sticks right in there. Okay, now, that gear also looks great. This is good news. This one was much easier. Like, way easier. Alrighty. They both cleaned up really nice. But if you can see this one here, what do I want to use for a pointer? Well, let's use this. See where this end is pointed way down in? This thing's been dropped a few times or something, because this plate is all bent up, this top plate here. And the side frames are loose, and this frame here is bent in so far it's grinding on the wheels. So the reason why I might use this one is the magnet traction is actually pretty good. Let's get my screwdriver here. pretty strong. Now this guy, on the other hand, nice and straight. Looks good, it rolls good. I haven't put any lubrication on it. But the main attraction here is non-existent. It just doesn't work at all. Just got nothing left in it, and this wheel is loose here. I was hoping to use this one, but without a main attraction, it's just not useless, but not as good as this guy. I also took the unit apart and put in a different drum in it. Let me find that original drum. Here's the original drum. As you can see, it's got a little hot. We got some melty bits there. And this drum could probably be used again. It looks pretty good. Still got the little axle bits on the end, so we're good there. I'll file that down, and it'll be good for a spare. But, yeah. I had a spare one, so that was good. The fingers in this unit were good. And I will pop apart another unit, and we'll do a separate video on that. But so I had to look at my pictures. We got the wiring hooked up, hopefully correctly. I haven't tested it yet. Got the battery in, and of course I had to adjust the horn, because even though it worked earlier, it didn't work right now. So, a little adjustment. You know, temperature and humidity. We'll just test it right here. There we go. It works. Okay, power up. First test. Hoping the unit's going to work here. We shall see. Getting a little bit of movement out of the armature. Hey, there we go. It's working. Woohoo! Not happy. This is a great tip for if you want to run the engine, you want to test this motor without having the reverse unit hooked up. This is called a series motor, so everything has to go in series through the brushes on this one. So first we hook up the frame. There's no rollers on this. Hook up the frame to one leg of power. I'll just use the center rail. That is the same as me hooking it up to this motor, this wire here, the field coil. Next we hook up the other wire, field coil, to one brush. And the power goes through the motor, through the brushes, down to the other leg. And then we can run it. If we want to reverse directions, we just switch around the brushes. This is the exact same thing that the reverse unit does. Okay, here's what the problem was. This chassis was so bent up to the side that this plate was this way and the armature was not centered. Before, with my other engines that I've had trouble with that have this style plate where the bearing's in the bottom, there was a lot of play forward and backward, but this chassis was so bent it was bent to the side. And how did I figure that out? Well, it was really tough to do, but basically I had to peer into the motor there and try to see the gaps for the armature, and also look real hard into here and try to find the gaps. It's not easy to see. I forgot to mention, how did I fix this? Hammer, punch. Basically what I did is I took my little miniature toy anvil here. I didn't set it on here because I didn't want to bend this or loosen this piece up. So I set it on the edge, I hammered here, and I got a little ways toward what I wanted, but it still wouldn't work consistently. So I had to punch this side down, and then this side. I left this piece intact. Now it works great, and this, for now, this piece is locked in solid, so I'm good to go. Alright, it's back together. It's wearing this classy, Erie number 610 NW2 switcher body, and it's working pretty good. Not quite running as great as I would like it to, but it's come a long way, and I will say it's done for now. I definitely want to add some lenses and some light bulbs to it to make it a little classier like some of my other locomotives I've done. Long as we're doing this, getting set up and everything for the final run, I'm watching Rail Chief 74. He's doing a live stream right now, and if you guys don't follow Rail Chief 74, definitely worth checking out. Right behind the locomotive here, I've got a Alco FA pair, which is also dressed in the Erie colors. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Now I've got 2 Erie locomotives, and that's always kind of fun. Let me know what you guys think. I hope to catch you on the next one, and I hope you check out the rest of the videos on the channel. Let's move the camera and get some more footage of these engines in action.